The rain had refused to fall for 3 months. The red earth of Umuofia cracked open like wounded skin. The rivers grew thin. The farms became tired. Even the goats walked slowly, as though they were carrying sorrow on their backs. Every morning, old women sat outside their huts with wrappers tied tightly around their waists, staring at the sky as if their eyes could drag the clouds down. But the sky remained stubborn. And in the middle of that hungry village lived a boy named Chibunna. He was 19 years old, too young to be called a man, too old to cry like a child. His father had died beneath a palm tree 2 years earlier while tapping wine. One wrong step, one broken branch, one funeral. Since then, life became heavier than a bag of wet cassava on Chibunna's shoulders. His mother sold roasted corn by the roadside. His younger sister, Ada, stopped going to school because there was no money for books. And every night, hunger slept beside them like an unwanted visitor. Still, Chibunna laughed loudly, not because life was easy, but because he discovered something important very early. If you allow suffering to close your mouth, it will also close your destiny. So he joked often, even when his stomach growled. Sometimes he would look at his empty plate and say, "Ah, this food is too much. I hope I can finish it." And his mother would laugh until tears filled her eyes. Poor people understand something rich people may never understand. Sometimes laughter is the only soup available. One afternoon, while returning from the stream, Chibunna saw a group of young men sitting under the Nnukwu tree. They were discussing their plans to travel abroad. Canada, Italy, Germany. One of them said, "There is no future in this country. If I remain here 1 more year, I will run mad." The others agreed immediately. But Chibunna stayed quiet, not because he disagreed, but because he had no money to dream that big. That night, he lay on the raffia mat beside his sister. Ada whispered, "Brother, will we always be poor?" Chibunna stared into the darkness for a long time. Then he replied softly, "No condition is permanent, not even Harmattan. But how will things change?" He smiled. "I don't know yet, but I know one thing: God did not create us to remain on the ground forever." Ada slept peacefully after that. But Chibunna did not sleep. He remained awake, listening to the sound of crickets and thinking about life. Thinking deeply. That was the night everything began. The next morning, Chibunna followed an old man named Pa Enwari into the forest. Pa Enwari was known for making local black soap and herbs. Many villagers mocked him. Old-fashioned man, bush doctor, village chemist. But Chibunna noticed something others ignored. The old man was never hungry. While others complained, Pa Enwari quietly survived. Wisdom does not always wear suits. Sometimes wisdom wears torn wrappers and walks barefoot. For weeks, Chibunna followed him around. He learned how to make soap from palm kernel ash, how to extract oil from herbs, how to dry leaves properly, how to package things neatly. Most importantly, he learned patience. One day, Pa Enwari asked him, "Why are you interested in all this?" Chibunna answered honestly, "Because hunger is embarrassing." The old man laughed so hard that snuff nearly flew from his nose. Good answer. Then his face became serious. "My son, never wait for the world to rescue you. Learn to rescue yourself first." Those words entered Chibunna's spirit like fire. Months later, Chibunna started producing local black soap in small quantities. The villagers laughed immediately. A whole man, selling soap. What a shame. Even some of his friends mocked him openly. One shouted from across the road, "Chibunna, when will you start selling sponge too?" Everybody laughed. But Chibunna smiled. Because poor people who fear embarrassment remain poor for a very long time. At first, sales were terrible. Very terrible. Sometimes he trekked from village to village under the hot sun without selling anything. Sometimes people promised to pay later and disappeared. Sometimes children insulted him. One little boy even shouted, "See his head like burnt yam." The entire market burst into laughter. Chibunna laughed too. What else could he do? If life wants to disgrace you publicly, crying publicly will not solve it. One evening, after another terrible market day, Chibunna sat beside the river feeling defeated. He removed his slippers and dipped his legs into the water. Then he began speaking to himself. Yes, life is hard. Yes, people are mocking me. Yes, I am tired. But should I stop? The river moved quietly, as though waiting for his answer. Then suddenly, he remembered his father. A strong man with rough hands. A man who once said, "Any goat can eat where grass is plenty, but greatness is when you survive dry seasons." Chibunna stood up immediately. "No," he said firmly. "I will not stop." The breakthrough came from an unexpected place. One day, a woman from the city visited the village for a burial ceremony. She saw Chibunna's black soap. "What is this?" "Local soap, ma." She bought one reluctantly. 3 weeks later, she returned. This time, she bought 20. "Do you know this soap cleared my daughter's skin?" Chibunna nearly fainted. 20 soaps. At once. That night, he danced around the compound like a madman. His mother laughed until she held her stomach. Ada shouted, "Our family is now rich." "Rich," Chibunna said. "We are still managing. Don't let poverty hear us insulting it." Business slowly improved. Very slowly. But improvement is improvement. Chibunna became smarter. He learned packaging. He learned marketing. He learned how to speak confidently to customers. He even borrowed a small phone and started recording funny videos online while promoting his products. At first, people mocked him again. See village influencer, clown, internet farmer. But one video changed everything. In the video, Chibunna held his soap and said, "This soap is like African mothers. It may look harsh, but it solves problems." The internet exploded with laughter. Orders started coming in. Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt. Even people abroad began requesting it. For the first time in years, hope entered their house fully. Then life happened again. Because life does not fight fairly. One midnight, their small storage room caught fire. Nobody knew how. Within minutes, everything burned. Soap, labels, packaging, machines. Gone. Just like that. Chibunna stood barefoot outside the burning building while villagers gathered around. His mother cried loudly. Ada trembled. The fire reflected in Chibunna's eyes like dancing devils. And suddenly, he laughed. Everybody became quiet. Even the fire seemed confused. His mother grabbed him. "Have you gone mad?" Chibunna wiped tears from his face. "No, Mama." "Then why are you laughing?" He looked at the ashes. "Because if this fire did not burn me when I was poor, it cannot burn me now." That sentence spread across the village for weeks. People repeated it everywhere. In bars. In markets. At weddings. Because strength is contagious. The following months were brutal. Very brutal. He started again from zero. Again. Sometimes he felt angry with God. Sometimes he questioned everything. Sometimes he locked himself indoors and cried silently. Yes, strong people cry too. They just don't surrender there. One afternoon, while feeling hopeless, Chibunna visited Pa and Wari. The old man was weaker now. Age had bent his back. After listening quietly, Pa and Wari said, "Do you know why palm trees survive storms?" Chibunna shook his head. because they know how to bend without breaking. Then the old man pointed at him. Life is not testing your comfort, it is testing your strength. Those words carried Chibunna through another difficult year. He worked harder, smarter. This time, he partnered with local women, created jobs, bought directly from farmers, improved quality. He stopped trying to impress people. Instead, he focused on solving problems. And slowly, his business became a company. Years passed. The same villagers who once mocked him now greeted him respectfully. Chiefs invited him to events. Young boys asked for advice. Politicians suddenly remembered his name. Funny world. Success changes people's memory. One December evening, Chibunna organized a community gathering in the village square. Everybody came. Old women, children, farmers, widows, youth. Even those who once insulted him sat in front proudly, as if they had always believed in him. After music and food, Chibunna stood before the crowd. The harmattan wind blew gently across the square. Then he spoke. When my father died, I thought life had ended. When people mocked me, I felt ashamed. When my business burned, I felt broken. But today I understand something. He paused. Suffering is not always punishment. Sometimes it is training. The crowd became silent. Young people, listen carefully. Do not despise small beginnings. Do not laugh at honest work. Do not wait for perfect conditions before starting. And please, he smiled warmly, do not use social media to pressure yourself into depression. Everybody laughed loudly. Even village elders nodded in agreement, though many did not understand what social media truly was. Chibunna continued. Africa is rich. Our culture is rich. Our people are strong. But strength without wisdom becomes suffering. Work hard, yes, but also work smart. Learn skills. Respect people. Save money. Help others rise. Because success that only feeds you is too small. Applause filled the square. Then suddenly, Chibunna noticed something. At the back of the crowd stood a little boy wearing torn slippers. Thin, quiet, watching carefully. The boy reminded him of himself years ago. So Chibunna called him forward. What is your name? Emeka. Do you go to school? The boy looked down silently. The answer was obvious. Chibunna placed a hand on his shoulder. From today, your education is my responsibility. The crowd erupted. Some women cried openly. Because Africans understand something deeply. When one person rises and lifts others, heaven smiles. That night, after everybody left, Chibunna sat outside alone. The moon hung peacefully above the village. His mother joined him quietly. You have done well, she whispered. Chibunna smiled softly. I am still learning. Then his mother asked, after everything, what have you truly learned about life? He became quiet for a long moment. Then he answered slowly. I learned that life will break your heart sometimes. It will embarrass you. It will disappoint you. People will leave. Dreams will fail. You will cry. You will start again many times. But, he looked up at the stars. As long as you wake up breathing, God is telling you one thing. The story is not over yet. Years later, people across Nigeria began telling the story of Chibunna. Some called him the boy who survived. Others called him the soap master. But elderly people in Umuofia called him something else entirely. They called him the boy who sold smoke and bought back hope, because they remembered how impossible his journey once looked. And whenever young people complained that life was too difficult, village elders would smile and say, sit down first. Let us tell you about a stubborn boy named Chibunna. And every single time, people laughed, people cried, and people left believing again.